Hi, welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. If you're new here, hi, my name is Joanne, and every week I upload videos about luxury handbags and other luxury lifestyle products. So if you like what you hear and you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing below because you don't want to miss out on the next couple of videos. So I just got back from my honeymoon in Europe where I went to Paris and a couple places in Italy, and I came back with a QUOTA bag from the HERMES FSH flagship store. So I just wanted to focus on the unboxing today of this bag, but I also want to get into, how I got it, how I prepped for it, because I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. I'm going to share all the juicy details and my experience at the HERMES stores. But I also want to get into some travel tips if any of you guys are planning to go to Europe. It's still kind of different with COVID. And I also picked up a few other things while I was there, mostly from HERMES. So I'll be doing an unboxing for those things. And also we are dangerously close to 1,000 subscribers. So I will be doing a giveaway when we get there. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Now let's get into the main event. So this box did come in this bag, which you can see has a huge crease on it because I actually did fold it up and bring it back in my carry-on luggage. This box, I actually wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to bring it back. I knew if I scored a bag in Paris, as I had hoped, I would have an issue with bringing the box back, but it actually did end up fitting in my carry-on, so I was very thankful for that. You can see it is kind of banged up though, just what happens when you're traveling with luxury boxes. Now that you see the box size, can you guess if it is a B or a K? Well, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I actually have my eye on a Birkin, not a Kelly at the moment. So I was really excited. Here is the tissue paper, and this isn't a true unboxing. I actually did use the bag once already just because I wanted to make sure that, it was the right bag, that I could use it, and I was just so excited. So taking the dust bag out, you can see the little pillow that the bag rests on. This is the rain protection that the bag comes with as well. So I'll probably keep this in the bag. There's also a little envelope here that has an HERMES booklet in it just talking about the HERMES leather, I think. I don't think it's anything too specific, but that's just what it says, and it's just like in all the languages of the world. And now finally opening this dust bag. It is actually a smaller bag than I thought it would be, but it is an HERMES Birkin, and this is in the size 30, so that means that the length of the bottom here is 30 centimeters. You can see the felt, it was supposed to be like that, so this is how the bag comes. I packaged it back up again. This is in the Epsom leather, in the Etude color, in the contrast stitching, and it is in the Cellier style. So that's all the specs of the bag. Let me know if you have any other specific questions. Very happy to answer any in the comments below. Let me just open up the bag a little because this is not how I will be carrying it. You can actually see that it still has the tape here, but I will be taking that off very soon. This one I actually had to take the tape off already because it just came off as I was taking everything out the first time, so I just tore that off. The tape is still on these bar thingies that support the singles. I don't know what they're called, but they're actually open at the top, which I didn't realize, so you can actually just pull out the singles from the top. And actually, since I did use the bag just a couple of times already, I wanted to give my first impressions of the bag as well. There's a lot of things that I didn't notice when I was obviously just looking at photos, just looking at YouTube videos about Birkin bags. It's very different once you are actually able to hold it in your hand and look at it closely, and maybe, once you bring it home, not having a sales associate stare at you in the store. There's just a lot of things that, I didn't think about So this is just taking the felt off here. Now it was packaged with some air pillows inside, but I did take those out because I did have to travel with it and I had to be able to figure out how to fit everything in my belongings. So I'll show a quick clip of the very first time that I opened it. Inside it does have the clochette, of course. So it comes in its little dust bag of its own. Here you go. And it does match the color of the bag. It's quite a heavy lock. I don't think I will be carrying it around with the lock. It's just not, something that I need on my bag hanging off, but I'll just store it somewhere. So here you have it open. Again, this is Epsom leather, so it's very, very stiff. And that's why the singles kind of just stick out. I don't know if they will relax a little bit over time and kind of fall, but in the meantime, I just plan on carrying it open with the flap tucked inside the last fold here. You can make it wider or thinner just if you push the leather through here. And then, so to prevent the singles from just sticking straight out as I'm carrying it around. So let's just set that aside for some eye candy as I go through some more details and my first impressions. So I already mentioned the specs of the bag. It is in the Cellier construction, which they only restarted about 6 months ago. And I do want to mention right off the bat that everything but the color was my first choice. And again, I'll get into all of the details about how I requested the bag at the store and how the sales associate and I spoke about my preferences. But I did specifically ask for Epsom leather because it's very important for me that my bag is not too heavy, and I know Epsom is one of their lightest leathers. And I actually love that it is in the Cellier construction because I love the contrast stitching. I know they only do the white stitching on a few of their colors. And with the Cellier, you can actually see more of that white stitching versus if it was in the retourné style, you would only be able to see the white stitching on the flat part and not on the sides. So I actually really appreciate that. I also really like a structured bag, and I know that Epsom and the Cellier construction will contribute to this bag holding its shape over the long run. So I appreciate that fact as well. Now, in terms of the color, as I mentioned, the tube wasn't my first choice. It wasn't my, top 3 choices. But, when she brought the bag out, I did have to kind of make a decision on whether I wanted to accept this bag pretty quickly. And I thought, a tube is still a neutral color. I would have preferred an etan because I do like grays a little bit more, whereas in a tube is described as a brown gray. But, I also don't think that you can go wrong with neutrals, especially a neutral that, Hermes has done for a very long time. It's obviously been successful. It's obviously a color that many people can make work. So I do think it's still a great color. Now, in terms of first impressions, when the sales associate first handed the bag to me and I was just holding it in my hand like this, I was like, wow, it's smaller than I thought. And at that point, I had been able to try on a Birkin 30 and a Birkin 25 in another Paris store. So I wasn't completely shocked, or at least I had some idea of size, but maybe it's also the Cellier construction that it just made me feel like the bag was smaller when I, hold it in my hand and when I'm looking at it, which is not a bad thing because I don't want the bag to be too big. And I actually, if we could have a bag between the 25 and the 30, I think that would be a great size too. But then when I look at it, as I'm holding it in photos or just sitting here behind me, I feel like it's larger. So I don't know. I can't figure out if it's like, sometimes it looks small to me, sometimes it looks big to me. And obviously, like, it's a great size. It's a perfect size. It can hold everything that I need. And I'm happy that I went with a 30. It's just like I'm still getting used to it maybe on, you know, how it looks on me, how a 30 is supposed to look on me. The feet are also higher than I expected, which is great because obviously the feet is to protect the bottom of the bag from, you know, whatever you're setting it on. So I don't know if you can see here, but the feet are actually, you know, right there and right there. So it helps the bag and the bottom of the bag actually sit higher and protect it much better. So I thought, you know, the feet would be like half its size, but, you know, it's pretty substantial, you know, a centimeter, I think, at least. So, you know, you can see the details on the bottom of the bag there. It's very beautifully made. All the, you know, details put into just this, which, you know, most people would never notice because most people aren't looking at the bottom of a bag, but anyways, so that was a nice surprise as well. I really like the height of the feet. I know that's like a weird thing to say. Something that actually did worry me a little bit when I took the bag out for the first time, when I got back to my hotel room and I was inspecting it a little more closely than I was in the store. And I do think it is because this is an Epsom leather, which is pretty stiff. It's pretty firm. It's not as malleable as most of the other leathers, but you know, where you are bending it and folding the bag, it can crack. I don't know if that's the right term, but I'm trying to figure out a good way to show you. I'll have to do it close up. The corner where these fold, and you know, they were folded pretty tightly because in order to fit over the front, it has to be, you know, pretty tight. So the Epsom leather on these corners have actually cracked a little bit. And I did go into another Hermes store and I asked them about it. They said it was normal, but also I don't think they could say it's not normal and that's defective. Like, I don't think that is their default response. I am fine with it just because I feel like, again, this kind of leather, it's going to happen because it is stiff. It's not, you know, as flexible, but I am going to keep an eye on it to make sure that it doesn't get worse. I think if it does get worse and it does look like the crack is going underneath the seam, I will bring it into an Hermes boutique, obviously, and ask them about it. And finally, let me just tell you the price of this bag. I did get it in Europe, so it is in euros. So it says SAC, as in S-A-C, Birkin Cellier 30, View, V-E-A-U, Epsom 18. And then it lists like the numbers. It was 8,850 euros, and that translated to 10,505 USD. Now, I also submitted for VAT back, as I did with everything else that I bought in Europe, and hopefully everything will be fine and I will get that money back on my credit card in about a month. It does say the tax on the receipt is about 20%. You don't get the entire 20% back. I think it's more about like 10%. In any case, I know for sure that if I had bought the exact same bag in the US, it would have been at least $10,000 plus tax on top of that. So for sure, even without the VAT back, I think it is a better price. So please let me know what you think about my new Birkin bag. I am so happy to add this bag to my collection. I have been thinking and obsessing about Birkins for quite a while now. You can ask my husband. He is so sick of hearing about it, but he was also a very key, important reason how I got it. So I will share that part. I'll probably split it into two parts because it is quite a long story. So make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss that video. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!